Good morning, sixth graders. Today is Monday, October 26th. Today's topic is going to be Buddhism. Buddhism is a religion we spoke about briefly, but we're going to talk a lot more about this week. The question we're going to answer today is, who was Siddhartha Gautama? To begin, you have a couple review questions. Take about 30 seconds to answer the 2 review questions. Go ahead and pause the video now to do this. Question 1 in the review says, do you remember on what continent and country Hinduism is most practiced today? So I have the country down, actually. The country is India, and India is in the continent of Asia. And the next question asks about the name of the holy texts of Hinduism. They were called the Vedas. Today you're going to discover the story of the man who started Buddhism, a philosophy that millions of people still practice today. His name was Siddhartha Gautama, but that's not the name you've heard him called. More famously, he is called the Buddha. Question number 1 asks, Siddhartha Gautama is known for starting what major world religion? Pause the video now to answer this. This video will be very short because you will spend most of today exploring the Buddha's life with your classmates. But here are the basics. Siddhartha Gautama was a very rich man. In fact, he was a prince in India, but he gave up all of his riches to follow something called the middle way. The middle way is a lifestyle that is neither rich nor very poor. You're not supposed to torture yourself with abuse or poverty. It doesn't make you a better person. But at the same time, you should not value material desires. The Buddha chose a life that was just comfortable enough for him to focus on what really mattered, ending suffering. He gave up material things in order to be free from the greed he saw around him. Number 2 says, what does it mean to follow the middle way? Provide a quote from the text to support your answer. Pause the video to do this now. What if you chose to follow the middle way today? What are some things you might have to give up? So now you know the most important basics about the Buddha. He was a rich man in India, but he gave it all up because he believed that to end greed was to end suffering. Now you will explore the Buddha's life. After we get to the big takeaway, this is something new. So you're going to start seeing this often. And it's something called the big takeaway. So what the big takeaway is if you know these things from today's lesson, then that means that you are good to go on this material. It means that you mastered this material and that you are ready to answer these questions on the benchmark, MLQ, iLeap, whatever it is. So what you're going to do is on the sheet of paper in your packet that has the big takeaway on it, you're going to answer just 3 questions. When you answer these questions, there's a couple things that I'll be looking for. First of all, we know that we have to restate and answer the question. Secondly, you have to use complete sentences. Third, I want you to use bullet points to separate each answer. Just like I have bullet points for the questions, when you go to write on your page, You're also going to separate your answers by bullet points just so they're organized. And lastly, make sure you describe with detail. This should be a brain dump. Basically, everything you just learned from your brain down to your paper with details and complete sentences. So, for example, if I were to answer the first question, what was the turning point in Siddhartha Gautama's life? What I would do is go to this page, obviously, put down a bullet point, and I know that I need to restate. So restating this would look like this. The turning point in Siddhartha Gautama's life was when, and you're going to finish that sentence, and not only that sentence, but add a couple other sentences to make sure that you have detail. This all goes right here on this page.